in this FSU Alabama game, it's not going like you probably thought it was going to, go. Florida State right now, coming into the game, yesterday I checked the spread. They were a 13.5 point underdog to Alabama, a team who last year was close to not winning the national championship. I don't know even why I said that. Because I associate championship with Alabama. They were close to going to the college football playoff. Kellen DeBoer's second year. Florida State was one of the worst come-aparts I've ever seen in my entire life. And folks, brace yourself. Florida State is winning at halftime 17-7 over Alabama. And I want to tell you straight up, Alabama does not look like Alabama. And Florida State, they don't look like the team from last year. And there's a lot of reasons behind that. Hey, first, if you love college football, you love talking college football, maybe you love Alabama, maybe you hate them, maybe you love Florida State, maybe you hate them. Right now, maybe you're a Texas Longhorn fan going, well, we were ranked number one. Yeah, no offense, you shouldn't have been. Either way, if you like that sort of thing, I hope you'll subscribe. It is free, and pass it along to anyone who loves to talk college football. Right now, for any of the kids who are watching this Alabama team and it looks like they are just being overwhelmed, this looks like the Alabama that I remember before Nick Saban took over. Alabama hasn't always been this team that especially if you're like 18, maybe you're early to mid 20s. This is not the Alabama football team that you're used to, but this is the Alabama team I remember before Nick Saban. And credit Mike Norvell for going out into the world of coaching and saying, I know that we have something special here at Florida State, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to hire who I believe will get us, not 2-10, but get us back to a place to where it looks like we're Florida State. And folks, I am telling you right now, I am unbelievable. Now, it could all fall apart in the second half, and I may have to eat my words. But for the first half of football against Alabama, I am impressed. Florida State is looking like Florida State. And if you watch my other channel, my Clemson channel, you hear me talk about coaching matters. If you're new to me, just overall, that's something I beat the drum of to the point people get sick and tired of hearing it. And they're like, I don't want to hear this anymore. Say something new. Sometimes the common is actually the simple answer. That's it. That's it. You get tired of hearing it. Maybe because you would have to admit that your team doesn't have the coaching that it should. And I'm not talking about just head coach. I'm talking about DC, OC, position coaches. So I'm looking at Florida State going, kudos to Mike Norvell. Because, folks, I'm going to tell you this. His buyout is so hefty that he could have said, you know what? I'm not going to fire anyone. I'm bringing everybody back, and Florida State can fire me when they're ready to pay my buyout. He didn't do that. Now, I don't believe in firing people to fire people. At the same time, he went out and got Gus Malzahn. And I've told you, if you watch me talk about Gus Malzahn over the summer, I said, put your opinions aside about him as a head coach. When that man gets into a big game, he's one of the best play callers, period, in a big game. Now, when he goes and he coaches against Duke, don't be shocked when the play calling goes down and it's not as, and I think Norvell's going to hold him accountable there. I think he's going to look at him and say, hey, man, I need the same intensity against Duke as I have against Alabama. But in games like these, this is where Gus Malzahn thrives. It's like he was born for this. The play calling is unbelievable. Hey, for any of you out there, I don't care what team you pull for, if you're like me, you're a Clemson fan, and you're watching this ball game, you should be taking notes right now. You should be comparing your offensive coordinator to this guy in the big game. I'm not talking about against, the Red Hat Ladies of Idaho. I'm talking about in the big game. Malzahn is one of the best. And Alabama, they look like they are lost. They are, and take this into consideration as well. There are teams who they do very well with a bunch of transfer players, and then teams that they don't. Florida State last year had a bunch of transfer players. Didn't work out for them. This year, they have a bunch of transfer players, but it seems like they have better coaching across the board, and it's working. And those coaches probably saw some things in certain transfer players that they went to the portal and they got, and they said, hey, this is the type of player that we need to be able to have an immediate impact on this program. And folks, I am telling you right now, I am impressed by Florida State. Of course, in the second half, Alabama could come alive, beat them by 10 points, and you're saying you were impressed by that? Sure, and okay. But you saw the artist that was formerly known as Florida State last year. It was embarrassing. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's actually happened very few times in college football. And if someone names out like 6 or 7 teams, I'm talking about percentage. The percentage of teams who were actually good and then fell apart. It doesn't happen like that. I mean, even to that level. They didn't go sub 500 or 500. No, they could only muster 2 flipping wins. They won only 1/6 of their games, folks. And to see them play like this, to see them coach like this, wow. Alabama looks lost, folks. And I'll tell you this, it makes you wonder what is going to happen as this season goes on for Alabama. Because if Alabama plays anything like I'm watching down there, they'll be sub 500 in the SEC. I don't care if they do march out there with 5-star players and this, that, and the other. They look like a bunch of 3 stars right now. So, the second half, hey, real quick, I'm going to give you a couple of stats for this Florida State game. Right now, Florida State has 207 total yards to Alabama's 148. Both teams have about the same first downs. Florida State 10, Alabama 9. Florida State's had the ball less in time versus Alabama. But I'm just telling you right now, I'm sitting here looking. I'm looking at the when the sports book was closed. Florida State was a 13.5 point underdog in this game, and folks, it is just looking. I mean, it's crazy. It is crazy. Florida State has rushed for 126 yards on Alabama. Alabama's rushed for only 61 yards. Alabama has 87 in the air. Florida State, 81 in the air. They're 7 of 10 on passes. No turnovers so far in the game. That's a big deal. But right now, Malzahn has taken Castellanos and he has tailored his game plan to this guy's abilities. And Castellanos did a lot of talking in the offseason. I know the reasons why. I've talked to people who has my buddy TJ. TJ probably watched this video. He's at the Florida State game. And I know that people understand why he talked and why he said what he said, trying to get people to get fired up. But I am telling you, folks, it is best to come out and, for the most part, just play, because most of the time when guys run their mouth in the offseason, that's exactly all it is. Most of the time they don't back it up. This guy's backing it up. This guy is backing it up. Now, am I saying he's going to do this all season long? No, I'm not saying that. But he just came out and played he's playing against an Alabama team that should be beating them right now. And right now, Florida State has them by the throat. It does not look good for Alabama. We will see after the game what happens. Hey, folks, if you love college football, I hope you'll subscribe. It is free, and I do appreciate it. Y'all take care of yourself. I will be streaming on my Clemson channel before the Clemson game tonight, at halftime and